Imagine walking into a car dealership, excited to make a big purchase, only to be judged and shown the door simply because of how you look. That's exactly what happened to one man. He was humiliated, disrespected, and underestimated. But instead of letting anger or frustration consume him, he decided to turn this negative experience into an unforgettable act of kindness. With determination in his heart and a plan in mind, he returned to that very dealership, not for revenge, but to make a statement that would inspire everyone watching. What happened next not only shocked the dealership staff, but also changed the lives of people who needed it the most. How did this man go from being kicked out to walking out with their best cars? And why did he choose to give them away to the homeless? Stay tuned, because this story is about to take an incredible turn. The man, a successful entrepreneur who had worked hard to achieve his dreams, wasn't someone who let setbacks define him. When he walked into the dealership, all he wanted was to treat himself after years of dedication and perseverance. But the staff didn't see his achievements or his potential. They saw a stereotype. They made assumptions, whispered among themselves, and eventually asked him to leave, claiming he wasn't serious about buying. Hurt but not defeated, he left quietly that day, replaying the moment in his mind. Instead of feeling angry, he felt inspired. He decided to use his resources to make a powerful statement, not just to the dealership, but to anyone who's ever been judged unfairly. He started planning something bigger, something that would send a message of kindness and compassion, even in the face of disrespect. What came next was nothing short of remarkable. The man couldn't shake the feeling of being dismissed so casually, but instead of letting bitterness take over, he turned his focus to what really mattered, proving that actions speak louder than words. As he sat at home, he thought about the people who are overlooked every single day, just like he was at the dealership. That's when an idea struck him. What if he used this moment to not only reclaim his dignity, but also make a real difference in the lives of others? He began researching high-end cars, not for himself, but for a bigger purpose. Meanwhile, news of his treatment at the dealership started to spread, drawing the attention of others in his community. Some people sympathized, while others doubted his next move. All the while, he quietly made arrangements, leaving everyone, including the dealership staff, wondering what he would do next. The best part? No one saw it coming. With his plan in motion, the man returned to the dealership, but this time he wasn't alone. A convoy of trucks followed him, their purpose a mystery to everyone watching. The staff at the dealership froze as he stepped out, calm but determined. They recognized him instantly, the man they had dismissed without a second thought. Whispers spread across the showroom as they tried to piece together what was happening. The man didn't waste time explaining himself. Instead, he calmly pointed out the cars he wanted to purchase, each one a top-of-the-line model that left everyone stunned. The employees scrambled to process his request, their earlier dismissive attitudes replaced with nervous smiles. As the paperwork piled up, the air grew tense. Why was he buying so many cars? And what was he planning to do with them? No one could have guessed what was about to unfold. As the dealership staff rushed to complete the sales, the man's calm demeanor hid the powerful message he was preparing to deliver. Just as the final documents were signed, he turned to the manager, who had been avoiding eye contact the entire time. With a steady voice, he thanked them for their service and made it clear that this purchase wasn't about revenge. It was about proving that respect should never be based on appearances. The staff, unsure how to respond, watched as the cars were loaded onto the waiting trucks. But then came the twist no one expected. Instead of driving the cars home or flaunting them, he announced his real plan. He revealed that every single car was going to people who desperately needed them. Families living in shelters, veterans rebuilding their lives, and others fighting to survive. The tension in the room shifted to disbelief as the true purpose of his actions began to sink in. As the trucks pulled away, filled with luxury cars destined for people who never imagined owning one, the dealership staff stood frozen in shock. The man had taken the moment they tried to diminish him and turned it into something extraordinary. He explained to a small crowd that had gathered outside that these cars weren't just vehicles. They were tools for hope, freedom, and a fresh start for people who had faced hardships like he had that day. But just as the crowd began to cheer, he delivered one final twist. From one of the trucks, he pulled out a car he had purchased for the dealership staff, a modest, reliable vehicle. It wasn't a flashy gesture, but it spoke volumes. "This is a reminder," he said with a smile, "that kindness and respect cost nothing, but they can change everything." In that moment, everyone realized this wasn't just about cars. It was about a lesson they'd never forget. As the man drove away, leaving behind a dealership forever changed, the impact of his actions began to sink in. The families who received the cars couldn't hold back their tears of joy, grateful for the chance to start fresh. For them, it wasn't just transportation. It was an opportunity to rebuild their lives, find jobs, and create stability for their children. Back at the dealership, the staff quietly reflected on the events of the day. They had judged him by his appearance, but he had responded with grace and generosity, leaving behind a powerful example. The story quickly spread, inspiring countless others to challenge stereotypes and spread kindness. The man never sought fame or recognition. He simply wanted to show that true power lies in lifting others up. And in doing so, he left a legacy far greater than any car ever could.